Hello, welcome back to the sewing room. I'm Lara, and this week I'm going to talk to you about how to find the grain line on knits. Now, why does that matter? Well, if you have ever had a t-shirt or anything that just didn't sit right when you were wearing it, like it twisted on the body or just kind of hung funny, chances are it wasn't cut with the grain line completely in the right direction. And in order to get your sewing on the right direction, you have to know where the grain line is, and that's a little bit different finding it for a knit fabric than for a woven fabric, so let's get into it. Alright, so for starters, knit fabrics, how do you know front and back even? Well, this is a single knit fabric. You can kind of tell because we've got a little bit of curling, and if you're wondering which way is up, if you gently stretch the fabric, it will tend to curl on the cut edge toward you from the right side. If you pull on the long side, or on the, this what would normally be, this is actually the selvage edge for this fabric, it's going to curl to the wrong side. So if it's coming toward you on the top and the bottom, that's the front. If it's coming toward you on the side, that is the back. So that's your front and your back. And a lot of times for woven fabrics, we say, okay, we'll just get a nice straight line across the top and fold it, and then you will know which that is going to be showing you your grain line. And oftentimes in woven fabrics also, we just measure in from the selvage to find a grain line. Well, we can't really do that with knits because the edges for the selvage often don't behave very well. Sometimes you've even had to trim them off because they are so kind of messy and curly and kind of messing around. So instead, what I often do is I will fold it wrong sides together, kind of as neatly as I am able, and then I'm going to take a very, very close look at this folded edge. I'll change the angle so you can see what that close look looks like. All right, here we are, eye level with the cutting table, and what I'm looking for is, can I follow a single kind of vertical rib of this knit fabric as I go down this fold. Now this isn't folded off enough for me to have it be really obvious. If it were folded really wrong, I'll show you what that looks like. If you're really trying to force it and it's completely wrong, you will get kind of waves. Whoop, let me back that out so you can see that. You will get kind of ripples in your fold. And so then it's like, okay, it's really obvious that that's wrong, but it can be almost right and still be wrong, especially as you kind of work your way down the piece. But if I look very closely, this is actually pretty good. And once I have that fold really, really, really clean, then I can just smooth the rest of the fabric out and be ready to, hopefully be ready to place my pieces and cut. I'm just experimenting here a little bit to see that you can see that. See if it'll follow. I think the focus might follow my finger. The single rib of knit as it kind of travels down the fabric, that is definitely my grain line. So that's option one. Option two is a little harder to see, but is sometimes easier depending on the fabric. Option two of finding that grain line, again, you're starting with the right side of the fabric facing up, and you're looking at it kind of from overhead. And for this, I like to use a good ruler. And instead of trying to follow a fold along that line, I am trying to place the ruler along the grain line. Now off would be like that. I'll zoom in. That is clearly very off and very much not following that at all. But let me get it closer. And sometimes you have to really squint at it. And sometimes So I have to really get it to where it looks following that line. And obviously this is really tough to see, and you don't want to be having to place a ruler for every pattern piece you place. So once I have that ruler placed the way that I want, you want to make sure that your chalk marker, that you've checked that it comes out of this particular fabric before you do this, because we are marking on the right side. Once I have that identified, I will just run a line of chalk down that grain line, and then it's a lot easier for me to see. So that is finding the grain line on a knit. I hope this series is kind of demystifying knits for everybody. I really enjoy working with knits, and I want you to as well. So if this is your first time coming by, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And in any case, hope to see you next time. Thanks, bye-bye.